Most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid debt. They think debt is dangerous. They think loans destroy lives. But the richest people on earth do something completely different. They borrow billions of dollars and somehow they keep getting richer. So why do rich people love debt? The answer changes everything. Because debt itself is not the problem. Bad debt is the problem. Rich people understand one simple rule. Money has a cost, but money can also produce a return. Imagine you borrow $100,000 and the bank charges 5% interest. Most people stop thinking there, they only see the cost. But rich people ask a different question. What can this money earn? If that borrowed money earns 10% while the loan only costs 5%, they keep the difference. That difference is called the spread, and the spread is where wealth is created. Debt becomes powerful when the return is greater than the cost. Now imagine real estate. A house costs $500,000. An investor only puts $100,000 down and borrows the rest. The investor now controls a $500,000 asset using only a fraction of their own money. If the property value rises 10%, that is $50,000 gained. But remember, the investor only invested $100,000. That means their return is much larger than if they bought the property fully in cash. This is called leverage. Leverage magnifies outcomes. It can grow wealth faster, but it can also increase risk. Smart investors understand this and never ignore the downside. Rich people do not borrow to buy things that lose value. They borrow to control assets that can produce income or grow over time. This is why businesses borrow money to expand. This is why investors borrow to acquire assets. They are trying to create positive spread. There is another strategy wealthy people use. Instead of selling assets and paying taxes, they borrow against those assets. Imagine owning stocks that keep increasing in value. Selling creates taxes. Borrowing creates liquidity without selling. Their investments continue growing while they use borrowed money for spending. That strategy only works because their assets continue producing value over time. But there is a danger. Leverage works in both directions. If the asset falls and the debt remains, losses can grow quickly. That is why poor debt decisions destroy people. Credit card debt at high interest rates is one of the biggest examples. Borrowing at 24% to buy things that lose value is negative spread. That is not investing. That is paying rent on money that creates nothing. Wealthy people focus on reducing the cost of money. One of the biggest tools for that is credit score. Better credit means lower rates. Lower rates improve spread. Improving your credit score can save tens of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. The rich do not have secret banks. They simply qualify for cheaper money. That changes everything. So ask yourself one question every time you borrow. Will this money earn more than it costs? If the answer is yes, debt can become a tool. If the answer is no, debt becomes a trap. That is the difference. The poor ask how quickly they can pay debt off. The rich ask how efficiently debt can work for them. Same loans, same interest rates, different decisions. Debt is just rented money. The only question that matters is whether what you do with that money earns more than the rent. Once you understand that, you stop fearing debt and start understanding it. Subscribe for more finance lessons that schools never teach.